Hi, everyone. My name is John Faulkner, and I'm your host of the Smarter Systems, Better Care podcast. I'm here today with Dr. Sabrine Obbad. She is a pediatric dentist and founder of Alara, and an award-winning AI-powered platform where they are revolutionizing how dental practices manage supplies to put patient care first. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited. Yeah, so I'm a pediatric dentist. I've been practicing for a few years now. I also opened up my own private practice up in New Jersey. And for the past few months, I've been working with both of my brothers on Alara, which, like you said, is a dental procurement platform that's just trying to help dentists order supplies more efficiently.
And what have you found in your experience? What makes the process inefficient?
Yeah, so the way that dentists order dental supplies today is there's multiple vendors and multiple distributors with different websites that dentists are having to log into to order supplies from. So the industry is very fragmented right now. These different vendors will have different pricing for the exact same products, but a lot of dentists don't know that there's different pricing across all of these vendors because they tend to consistently shop from the same vendors. Otherwise, a lot of dentists are just used to using a sales rep. So they have a relationship with a sales rep at one of the big distributors like Henry Schein or Benko, and they will just kind of call up their rep. Their rep will place orders for them, and they don't really have any knowledge of supplies being available in other websites for cheaper. And so the savings that dentists could make are up to 50 to 100% sometimes on the same products, but they just don't know about it. So this definitely affects how dentists run their business because the overhead of a dental office can vary significantly just based on fact. Yeah, so our platform allows dentists to create accounts across all of the major vendors. And once they log into our platform, they can simply just search for the dental supply that they need. And we show them the price from every single vendor that has that item in stock. So they're able to easily compare the pricing on that product and add it to cart and shop in one single cart. They don't have to log into multiple sites or call up their vendors to check on price or log into multiple websites. So it saves them a lot of time and a lot of money.
Have you started going to practices now to kind of pilot this, or what phase are you in right now?
Yeah, so we're in beta still. We're still developing the product, but we've been live for about 2 months now. We have about 100 practices signed up and using our product. So we're actively talking to the offices, iterating based on the feedback that we're getting. I think the two big things are the ease of use of our platform. It's very simple, easy to use. Anybody can use it. So a lot of the times the dentist is not even the one placing the orders because they're very busy with patient care. So it'll usually be the assistant or the office manager who is doing this. So we made sure that this would be easy for anyone to use, no matter their skill levels. And the second biggest thing is when dentists see how much they're saving compared to what they were spending before. The other thing we noticed is that a lot of dentists didn't know how much they're spending on dental supplies just because they would be logging
Really?
into multiple websites and ordering from so many different places that they didn't have all that information in one spot. So this is allowing them to better track their spending overall. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And looking at your specific role as like as founder, with your brothers, where do you spend the most energy right now kind of driving the growth? Because you're in a beta phase, but what does that look like day to day?
Yeah, so I'm in charge of mostly the go-to-market, talking to dentists, getting feedback from dentists, and then also working on the product, just understanding what is it that dentists need, what is missing from our product that would help them run their business better. And then just talking with both of my brothers who are more on the technical side on how do we do that and develop a product that matches what the dentist needs.
Yeah. And then looking bigger picture, what's one shift in this area of dentistry or pediatric dentistry that most leaders are not paying enough attention to that you'd like to tell them about?
I think that in general, what I've noticed is that dentistry is probably one of the last healthcare verticals that have really started to embrace digitizing operations. I think that we've seen a lot of software transform things like scheduling and billing and trying to automate those processes. But there's a lot of other aspects in the dental industry that's very outdated and resistant to change. So I think that in general, where I see dentistry going is just helping dentists to embrace using software to make their daily operations run more smoothly so that they can focus their energy less on admin tasks and more on patient care.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of work around with your platform with what they're already using, so it's not as big of an adaptation because it's just working with what they got and just giving them more data and information to make decisions.
Exactly. And also just trying to streamline it into one place just to simplify things in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, how have you personally adapted as you're going through this iterative process of your platform? Just curious, like, how do things change even day to day or week to week as you're going through this?
Yeah, so I'm a practicing dentist, so I still see patients, and I think the biggest challenge for me as a founder has been trying to manage my time as a practicing dentist who's also trying to build this new tool. But yeah, so day to day, that would be the most challenging thing that I've noticed for myself.
Yeah, balancing that. And then, if what happens if businesses ignore this shift? Because it sounds like like you said, the dental health practices are kind of like the last vertical that are digitizing. What happens if practices decide not to do this or are very anti moving forward, I guess is another way to describe it. What have you seen or even give your opinions on it?
Yeah, I think there will definitely be practices who will be resistant to change, especially older practices that have been around a lot longer. I think once they've had those systems in place in their office, it's quite hard to work around the workflows that they already have because it's not just the dentist that has to adapt, it's also the staff, the front office, the back office, the office manager. So there will be instances where they just aren't open to change, even if this is a product and a tool that's going to help them save time and money. And we're a free platform, by the way. So that has been something that's been interesting to me because we're like, well, this is free. It's free and it's helpful. But some dentists are still not interested because they're just so used to their ways. And I
Their
feel
ways
like
of
that's
doing it.
okay. I mean, you can't really change everybody. So
Yeah. And that happens.
yeah.
But you're definitely made an impression already on many practices, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then when you're working with like these dental offices, where do things feel clunky as you're working with them, or maybe you're seeing trends in working with them, the kind of the same issues? Curious to get your insight there.
Things that would be clunky. I think just having them understand the tech. And of course, since we're still in beta, there's a lot of kinks and bugs here and there that we have to work around. So just having offices kind of understand that and being willing to work with us to work through those issues. Because eventually we're going to get there and we're going to have, the perfect product. I'm 100% sure. But as with any startup, the beginning is a little bit rocky. And so we really rely on our dentists that are using us to give us that feedback so we can grow and make this something that's going to be really life changing for a lot of dental offices.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're kind of recruiting dental offices, what does like follow up look like with them, or how do you engage them to start having discussions about your product?
Yeah, so I follow up with them very regularly just to check in, make sure their orders are getting placed correctly, making sure that everything is on time. I also try to follow up with them about their order pattern. Not every office orders, it's not like daily orders. Some offices order once a month, some order twice a month. So just trying to make sure I follow up on those ordering pattern timelines to keep them engaged and interested, giving them updates on new features and things like that.
That's excellent. And then looking at your current results so far, I know you're still kind of in that beta phase, but what's working really well right now that you would never want to lose going forward?
I think the momentum that we've had, we're really growing really fast and quickly. And dental industry is a lot of word of mouth. So once we kind of convince one customer and they really love it, they're telling all of their friends, and that helps us kind of exponentially grow. So I definitely want to keep that momentum and that collaboration with them and build a community with the dentist so that we can rely on that trust and that word of mouth within our community.
Yeah, referrals are a big part of that, especially at the beginning to gain that trust. So that's amazing that you're building that.
Yeah.
Um, and kind of look at the opposite end of the spectrum. What's not working as well, despite all the effort that you're putting into it? Just curious to hear your insight on that as well.
Yeah, just I would say the The challenge is obviously with any startup is building a great product, but it's also about educating an industry that's been doing things the same way for decades. So I would say, our main pain point has been adoption and convincing offices to trust a new workflow when they've relied on the same vendor reps for like 20 years and had these like lifelong relationships. So just that resistance to change is the main.
Yeah. And as you grow, you'll definitely be able to address that easily without any issues.
Right,
So you've been
exactly.
growing very quickly, and looking at your vision, if you solved all these bottlenecks, what would success look like for you in 6 to 12 months? I know in founder world, that's a long time probably, but let's look even in 6 months. Where do you want to go?
So eventually, we do want to have more collaboration with the distributors and vendors themselves to have them actively participating with us and collaborating with us so that we could have more of a partnership with them while delivering this tool to dentists. So that would be our 6 month to 1 year goal.
Yeah. Do you envision like with this collaboration as kind of like almost like a community component of your platform where people can maybe even communicate with each other or get insight or uh, just curious if you tried those things yet to get people to talk to each other?
Yeah, so we've actually talked about that. The dental community is very connected through Facebook. They love those
Yeah.
forums where they can talk to each other and get feedback. And we actually have friends in another company very similar to ours. It's called Vet Cove. They do the same thing, but for veterinarians. And they actually have on their website kind of like a forum for veterinarians where they can
Yeah.
log in and talk to each other about issues that they're having. So, yeah, I definitely think incorporating something like that down the line on our platform would be useful. And I think dentists would actually love it and use it as well.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Just growing the trust, seeing what other people are doing, providing insights for each other as well.
Right.
And even looking at longer term, past 12 months as well, where do you envision you're going to go?
I think that's a bit harder of a question to answer right now because we have a lot of ideas. It's just a matter of if we're able to execute them. But our main focus is to get, as many dentists to onboard with us and use us. And I think that's what we're mainly focused on right now.
And you're getting towards the end of the podcast right now. Is there anything like you would want to tell the audience about your platform that makes you unique? It sounds like you're the only one in this space from what I've found. So just interested to hear more.
Yeah, so I just want dentists to know that we're really here for them. We're focused on being a platform that's built by dentists for dentists. I've gone through a lot of the same challenges that a lot of these practice owners have gone through as a
Yeah,
practice owner
firsthand.
myself. So I'm really trying to build a tool that's going to help them run their business more efficiently. We're not here to profit off of the dentist. We really just want to build a tool that's going to help them and just create transparency in the industry. Right now, it's a very fragmented industry. There's a lot of discrepancies across pricing. One dentist is getting 50% more, is being charged 50% more than another dentist, which is just not fair. And it's kind of causing a lot of trust issues in the industry itself. So we're trying to build this platform mainly for that transparency and allowing dentists to just have more knowledge on where their money is going and being able to streamline their ordering in their offices.
And that's interesting insight that you mentioned as well. Do you notice that dentists even in the same geographic region? Because I had another guest who said it was even like a mile down the road, they would be on completely different like fee schedules for healthcare practices. Is that what you're noticing as well? As geographically it could even be very different, even close proximity with these
Yeah,
practices?
definitely. You could be next door to a dental office and they could be getting, 30% less on their supplies
Wow.
from the same
Yeah.
vendors just because their sales rep decided to give them certain discounts. So, and they don't know because dentists don't really talk to them about how much they're spending on specific
Right.
supply. So, yeah, that's something that we learned that was quite shocking to us.
Well, thank you for all the work you're doing and working with these dental practices and going through this. You're making a huge impact. So, where can people find you to make a connection and have deeper discussions if they
Yeah, they can find us on LinkedIn, Alara or alaradental.com. And yeah, we'd be happy to talk to anyone if they have any questions.
amazing. Well, thank you for your time on the show, and our viewers will get a lot out of it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.